Taylor, it is wrong between my mother and Ridge. The guy is out of control.
You know, you're talking about Phoebe's father.
Taylor, you're a psychiatrist. You know the relationship that my mom had with Ridge was completely dysfunctional. Okay, the amount of times that he left her, how he treated her, treating me as his own personal punching bag.
The first thing that you were just saying, yes, I agree with that. But the punching bag part, no, I don't agree with that. Ridge isn't abusive.
What, not to you. Well, maybe not in your world with you and your children and your family, but with my mother and me, the guy's a nutcase. Look, Taylor, I know that you and Nick are engaged. But I'm sorry, but Nick is still in love with my mom, and she loves him. And if Nick is the only man that can keep my mom and Ridge apart, then so be it.
Rick, I think you should let Taylor and I settle this. Please, let us talk alone.
Okay.
Here to find out if I'm pregnant?
I know that you're not.
Well, you didn't hear that from Nick.
I was there with Stephanie when she was on the phone with you.
That is so wrong on so many levels.
Taylor, I am not here about Nick. I'm concerned about my son. He and Ridge are on the verge of an all-out war. Please, I need your help.
I really don't think it's a wise idea for me to be getting involved in your peace plan for Ridge and Rick.
So the violence escalates?
Brooke, you know, if they want to have an all-out civil war, then what am I going to do to stop them?
And you're willing to let Phoebe get caught in the crossfire? Look, after everything that's happened, Nick taking away Forrester Creations, Jackie M refusing to carry Forrester Originals, then opening up all the stores around the world, and to add to all that stress, Ridge has to find Rick and Phoebe in bed together.
And then that was when Ridge struck Rick.
Yes.
And then you had to end the relationship because of that one incident.
I can't be with him after that, Taylor.
You know, I don't really know why you're here and why you're telling me all of this. I just don't get it. Your son was just here, and I had to explain to him that I'm not going to end my relationship with my fiance to protect you from Ridge. And now you're here, and you're wanting me to convince your son with you that Ridge is not such a bad guy when that's the whole reason you ended the relationship. Do you hear this? Do you hear how this sounds?
Look, I just don't want them to kill each other.
Well, nobody does.
Rick could see some good in Ridge. I know he can, but right now all he sees is bad. What if we remind him what Ridge did to protect him?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think back many, many years ago. Grant Chambers.
Why are you bringing up Grant Chambers?
Taylor, only a few of us know what happened. You, me, and Ridge. What Ridge did. What Rick did.
Yeah, I know, but that was a long time ago.
Yes, and to think that my son was even driven to such a place. He didn't even know what he was doing when he pulled that trigger. He doesn't even remember firing that gun.
That's because it was traumatic, and he blocked it out.
And he was able to do that because Ridge stepped up to protect him. I mean, if that didn't happen, God knows what would have gone on. Look, Taylor, Ridge pled guilty to a crime that he didn't commit. He put his own freedom at stake to protect my son. He would have gone to prison if I didn't have Grant intervene.
Yes, Ridge did step up to the plate in a big way, but you know, I'm not getting what you're proposing.
I think we should tell Rick what happened.
Why?
Because think about it. If he knows that Ridge stepped up to protect him, maybe he will look at Ridge differently.
And your feelings about Ridge's recent behavior?
No, those feelings will never change.
Okay, so then you want Rick to suddenly appreciate this humanitarian act that Ridge did years ago?
Yes, he's a big boy. I really think he'll understand it. Please, Taylor, give me your professional advice. Do I tell Rick what Ridge did or not?
Brooke, that is a serious issue. I mean, it isn't just something you bring up, okay? Just to suddenly bring up out of the blue that Rick tried to kill someone, no, that could cause serious psychological damage. You know, he blocked it out as a way of self-preservation.
He's an adult now. I really think he'd understand.
No, but he blocked it out as a child. This would be too devastating to him. It would change his self-image.
He only sees Ridge as someone who's hurt me. He doesn't know that Ridge pleaded guilty to a crime that he didn't do just to protect him.
Okay, look, Brooke, I agree that if Rick could understand what Ridge had done for him, I think he would change his opinion of him, but I don't know if it's at the cost of him hating himself in the process. Brooke, I know you want peace in the family, but I don't think this is the way to do it. He was just a child, and he didn't know the seriousness of his actions. I just don't think you should risk revisiting something that he might not be able to live with.
On the next Bold and the Beautiful.
I hope you and Ridge have a wonderful evening.
Come on, where are you, Ridge?
Shane McGrath will not be a threat to Phoebe.
The Bold and the Beautiful.